Episode 19, Ink for the Words I Couldn't Say, Writing to Heal.
Before we get started this episode, just a quick reminder, this podcast talks openly about mental health, trauma, anxiety, depression, deep emotional pain. Some of what we cover may be triggering, especially if you're going through a hard time at the moment. So please listen with care. This podcast is not a professional medical advice, just real talk from people who have lived it. If you're in a crisis, please reach out to a professional or one of the services listed at the end of the episode. You're not alone, and you never have to go through this alone. And mate, today's one of those episodes, the heavy ones, the real ones, the ones where we crack open a little more of your story and hopefully help someone else do the same. Yeah, I've always believed that there are two types of silence. The one where you're at peace and the one where you're screaming inside, but no one can hear you for most of your life. I've been living in that second kind of swallowing words, swallowing pain, until one day it starts to choke you from the inside out.
You've said before that writing was how you finally got it out. Like when you couldn't speak the truth to the people you needed to, you wrote it. Letters that no one ever saw, but they helped anyway.
Yeah, I wrote letters to people who broke me, people I've loved too, people I've lost, and even letters to the little boy I used to be. The ones that you never sent, I'll never send, because sometimes the point isn't to send it, it's just to say it, even if it's just on a piece of paper. That's powerful, man, because how many people listening right now are carrying words they've never said, apologies, goodbyes, I love yous, fuck yous, all of it, just sitting in their chest, weighing them down like bricks in a backpack. Exactly, and that's what this episode's about. It's not just talking it out, but writing it out, healing through the page, because you don't need permission to be honest to yourself. You just need a pen and the guts to bleed onto paper.
And I know we're going to dive deep into that, but can I just say, I can already hear Bob grumbling in the corner.
Oh yeah, he's already cracked his knuckles, mate. Bob's like, what's the point of writing it down? No one's gonna read it anyway. And I'm like, exactly, Bob. That's the whole bloody point.
Ha! That's right. Writing isn't always about being heard. Sometimes it's about being free, even if no one else reads it, especially then.
Couldn't agree more, mate. So, for anyone listening, if you're ever had something you couldn't say out loud, maybe this is your moment, you write it down. Start there. No filter, no judgment, just the truth. Just straight from your mind, straight to the paper. You've been too scared to tell anyone. We kind of walk you through it today. My letters, my pain, and maybe yours too.
So buckle up. This one's raw, real, but it might just change something inside you. Let's get into it.
I want to start this part by reading something I wrote a while ago. A letter to someone who shaped so much of my pain. Someone I wanted to love me, but who just didn't know how. This letter was from Mum. I never sent it. I didn't even think she'd understand it, even if I did. But writing it helped me more than she'd ever could. Here goes, guys. Okay. Mum, you probably don't even remember the last time you held me without an angry heart. I was just a little boy who needed love. You were the one person who was supposed to give it to me without condition, without punishment, without leaving. But you did all of that, those three things. You left, physically, emotionally, and even when you were there, I still felt like I didn't exist. Like I was always, in a way, I wasn't bad. I was just hurting. I didn't know how to ask you for love. I It's hard this because I carried your silence. I carried your rejection, and I still do, even now. But here's what I want to say most of all: I forgive you. Not because you said sorry, not because you changed, but because I can't carry this anymore.
Wow, mate. That hit me in the chest. I can't imagine how hard that was to write, let alone share here.
It was brutal, Michael. I cried by writing it. I shook and I was angry, but at the end, I felt lighter. Just a little, just a little. And that's the magic. The page doesn't talk back, it just holds your truth.
I think a lot of listeners are going to feel this one, especially those with complicated relationships with their parents. There's this myth that because someone gave you life, they automatically know how to love you properly. But that's not always true.
Michael. And I want people listening to know if you've got words sitting heavy in your chest, it's okay to let someone out, let somebody out and write down. Just don't, you don't have to send it. You don't have to forgive anyone today, but you can start speaking for that younger version of yourself who never never got heard.
And mate, that letter, that wasn't weakness, that was strength. The kind of strength that breaks generational chains.
There's a lot. And in this next segment, I'll read another one. This one's to my dad. That one, yeah, that that one's a different kind of pain. Pour out like the one to mum. It scraped its way out, word by word, because the pain with him wasn't loud. It wasn't quiet. Numb, like being forgotten in your own house. I wanted a dad. I needed a dad, and I had one, but only in body, not in spirit. Here's what I wrote to my dad. I used to wait for you to notice me, not just to see me. I mean, really notice me. The way you noticed your work, your mates, my sisters. I was always just the kid in the background, the afterthought. I worked so hard for your approval, your attention, even a trophy, even an effort. I was just hoping you'd say, I'm proud of you, son. But you never did. And when mum left and I needed you the most, you still weren't there. You were too busy, always busy. You know what means the most? It's not the yelling or the abuse, but it's that I never felt wanted, never felt like your boy. I remember that fishing trip, the one where I caught the big fella, the one that nearly reached from my chin to my feet. And you untangled the line and told everyone it was your fish. That moment stayed with me because it taught me something that even my joy could be taken. That even when I did something good, it wasn't really mine. Because here's what I've come to learn, that I can't keep waiting for you to be the dad I needed. You never will be, and that's not a million anymore. I'd forgive you for what you couldn't be. And I'm letting go of the hope that one day you'll say you're proud of me because finally I'm learning to be proud of myself. Goodbye, Dad.
That's, mate, that's heavy. Like, not just sad, but soul heavy. That kind of pain from being ignored is almost harder than open rejection, hey?
Yeah, it's the kind of grief where you mourn something that never even existed. And when you're a kid, you don't understand why your dad doesn't love you like you see in the movies and you know your mates, families, and you, you think you're the problem. You are.
And it gets carried into adulthood. That empty feeling, that itch for validation that never comes. Man, I'm proud of you, not just for surviving that, but for being brave enough to speak it now.
Thanks, brother. I guess I need to hear that more than I thought. And if you're listening, is still chasing the love from someone that just doesn't have the tools to even give it, well, maybe this is your sign to stop running after the ghosts. They can't hold you, but you can.
And writing this down, putting it into words, it's like releasing yourself from the prison of their silence.
Exactly. And next, we'll talk about how writing these letters doesn't just help you speak to others. Sometimes it helps you speak to ourselves. I wrote one once that to my little boy I used to be, the little boy that I used to be. That's the one that really broke me. It still does. This is a letter. It broke me, not because of the pain it held, but because of the innocence it spoke to. Wrote to the kid I used to be, the one who didn't didn't understand why the world was so cold, why love was absent, why home felt like a battlefield. There's something about speaking to your inner child, not to grow up, a version of a younger self that's been hardened by time and pain and a lot more. Just sorry, guys, this is a bit hard this one. And in his letter, hey, little man, I see you. I know you're scared. And I know you're wondering why no one hears you crying, why the walls around you echo with yelling, but never a laughter, why the people who were supposed to love you the most keep making you feel like you're a mistake. But I need you to know something. None of this, not one single part of it, is your fault. You don't deserve to be left behind. You don't deserve to be called names, ignored, or made to feel like you don't matter anymore. You weren't bad. You were just a kid trying to survive a storm that never should have reached your steps. And even though it hurts now, even it feels like no one cares. I do. I'm new, growing up, battered, yeah, but still standing. And I'm coming back for you. I know you sleep under the blankets with your stuffed toys, pretending the world can't find you. I know you're hiding when the door slams. I know you're crying when no one's looking. But I see you. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry no one protected you. But I will now. You don't have to be strong anymore. That was never your job. Just be a kid. Let me carry your weight now.
Bloody hell, mate. That got me right in the gut. I can see why you said this one broke you.
Yeah, more. Yeah. I remember the finishing letter and just seeing there, why, I just finally hugged that little version of me for the first time. Properly. Hugged him, squeezed him, let him cry, and told him, "You're safe. You're safe, man, boy."
You know, we always talk about being strong and pushing through, but no one talks about going back to rescue the version of yourself you left behind. That takes a different kind of bravery.
It does. It does very much, Michael. And lying to that little boy, it wasn't just healing, it was permission. Permission to feel, to grieve, to finally stop blaming myself for how I was treated. Because when you look at that little kid, you realize he was just doing the best he could to survive.
And for anyone listening, that letter, that could be your first step. Write to your little self. Tell them what they deserve to hear back then. And if you cry doing it, good. That's proof you're finally feeling the stuff you were never allowed to feel.
Still inside you. And maybe today's the day you let him know he's not alone anymore. So if you're listening right now and your brain's doing the whole, yeah, this sounds good, but I couldn't do it routine, that's not you talking. That's Bob.
Bloody Bob. You could be on the edge of a breakthrough and he'll pop up with, "Why bother? You're not a writer. Who's going to read it anyway?"
Exactly. The second I sit down with a pen or open a blank document, he leans over my shoulder like a washed up English teacher from 1972. Oh, that sentence structure. That's terrible. Did you even punctuate it properly?
Yeah. And then he whispers, "Just scroll your phone instead. Writing's for people who have time and talent. You've got neither."
You know what I said to that? Shut up, Bob. I'm not working on a piazza. I'm writing to stop myself from exploding. This isn't about grammar. It's about release. It's bleeding poison out.
So, let's walk people through it. How do you start?
Start with one line. That's it. One sentence you've never said out loud. Maybe it's "I miss you." Maybe it's "You hurt me." Maybe it's "I don't know how to keep going." It doesn't have to be poetic. It just has to be honest.
And write like no one's ever going to read it because they don't need to.
Exactly. You're not writing for approval. You're writing for freedom. You're getting the slag out of the chest and onto the page, so it stops rotting you from the inside out.
Can they type it out too if they don't like handwriting?
Hell yes. Write it onto your phone, your laptop, sketch it into your back of your pizza box if you have to. It doesn't matter. What matters is you started.
What if someone's afraid they'll open a floodgate they can't close?
Just take it slow. Write a line. Close the book. Walk away. Come back when you're ready. But I'll tell you this: those words already live in you. Writing them down doesn't make them any worse. It makes it manageable.
And Bob, he's terrified of the truth because when you face it, when you speak it, his power fades.
Exactly. Bob feeds on silence, on shame. But once you put into words, he has nothing left to twist up. So, right, even if it's messy, even if you cry, especially if you cry, there's this quote I keep coming up, going back to, about Einstein, what he once said: the distinction between the past and the present and the future is only a stubborn, persistent illusion. In other words, time's not real. We've invented it. It's just what the clock says.
Which raises the big question. If time's an illusion, then why do people keep saying time heals all wounds?
If time doesn't exist, how is it supposed to do all of this magical healing we put into? It doesn't. Healing only happens when we stop the loop and face what's.
That's where writing comes in. Because when you pick up a pen or start typing, it's like jamming your hand into the gears of that loop and saying, no, we're stopping here. We're dealing with this now.
That's it. Writing interrupts the loop. You're not just remembering, you're claiming. You're not trapped in some endless circle of trauma. You're stepping out of it, even just for a minute. And that's saying, this happened, this hurt, and I get to speak to you now.
It's like you're breaking the spell. The same way a traumatic memory keeps looping, writing can crack it open and shift the pattern.
And that's not easy because Bob hates when you break the loop. Bob wants you to be stuck, in your circle of the same thoughts, repeating the same fear. So when it stops and you name it, Bob starts pacing the room. Oh, what are you doing? This is.
He hates clarity. Clarity kills his vibe.
Yeah, oh yeah. Bob thrives in fog, but writing clear the flog. It makes you say, "I know what's happened. I know when I did what you did to me, and I know who I am now because of it. And in spite of it."
So, this episode, this practice, it's more than just writing. It's about becoming your own time traveler, going back, picking up the version of you that got left behind, and walking them home.
Yeah, that's it. And for the first time, you're not walking back into the past to relive it. You're walking back to rescue yourself.
We all deserve that. And if writing's the way we get there, then let's keep the pens moving.
You know what blows me away, Michael? It's that people are actually doing this, writing, pouring it all out, sharing their truth, even when it hurts like hell. I've had listeners send in some of the rawest, most powerful letters I've ever read.
They're not just writing, they're healing. And the fact they trust you enough to share that with us, man, it's huge.
It means everything. And with permission, I want to read a couple. No names, no details to identify, just pure emotion from people who'd had enough of being silent. Here's one. Dear me, I forgive you for staying too long, for hoping they'd change, for hiding your feelings, for pretending everything was okay when it wasn't. You were doing your best to survive. You don't have to apologize anymore. You're not weak. You're still here, and that's strength.
That's bloody beautiful. And that line, you don't have to apologize anymore. That right there, that's freedom.
Here's another one. Mum, you always said I was too sensitive, too emotional, too much. But those are the same things I've grown up to love about myself. I'm not ashamed anymore. My softness is my flaw, not my flaw. It's my power.
Goosebumps. That's what happens when people own their story instead of burying it. And writing it down makes it real, like they've finally spoken back to the pain.
Yeah, it's not just a whisper in the dark anymore. It's a roar. And to everyone listening, if you've ever written something like this, even if you ripped it up straight after, I want you to know that takes guts. Real strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the courage to say, this is how I feel, even if it's only to yourself.
And even if no one ever sees it, it still matters. Because healing doesn't come from being seen, it comes from finally seeing yourself.
Exactly. And next, we're going to guide you through doing that, whether you've never written a single word before or you've filled notebooks with silent screams. We're going to walk you through how to write a letter that might just save your life. If you've been listening and thinking, I want to try this, but I don't know how, this one's for you.
Because it's not about writing something perfect, it's about writing something honest. So let's break it down. You don't need fancy words, you just need you.
Exactly. So here's a simple guide. Take what you need, leave what you don't. Let's go slow. Pick your person. It could be someone who hurt you, someone you lost, someone you miss, yourself, now or younger you, or even someone who never existed, like the dad or mum you wished you had.
It could also be to your anxiety, like Bob, or to your depression, or to fear itself. Give the pain a name.
Don't think, feel. Start with just one sentence, like, you never said sorry. I miss you. You made me feel invisible. I needed you. Where were you?
Write like they'll never read it. That's the key. No performance, just truth.
Tell them how you feel today, not the masked version, the real one. Are you angry, tired, grieving, still hoping? Write it.
And it's okay if your words don't make sense at first. This isn't a school assignment, it's an exhale.
Do you need closure, forgiveness? Do you need to say fit you without saying it out loud? Do you want to hear I'm proud of you, even if they'll never say it?
This part isn't for them, it's for you. Say what you need, demand what you deserve, let it all out.
End it with your truth, a sentence that says I survived, or I'm still healing, or I'm choosing to move on now.
Doesn't have to be neat, just real.
And when you're done, take a breath, close the book, or read it out loud, or burn it, or tuck it in a drawer, but honor it, because that letter, it's not just ink, it's your voice, and it deserves to be heard, even if only by you.
That's powerful, brother. You just walked a lot of people out of silence today.
And next, we'll talk about what happens after the letter, because healing doesn't stop at the last word, it begins there. So, you've written it, you've spilled your guts, your hand might be shaking, your eyes might be red, the page might be wet from tears, and then comes that moment, that silence, where you sit back and think, what the hell do I do now?
It's almost like a crash, hey? The adrenaline wears off, and suddenly you feel empty. Or even worse, guilty for feeling relieved.
Yeah, and Bob's right there whispering in your ear. Did that even help? You just dragged all that stuff back up for no reason. No one's going to fix it anyway.
Classic Bob. He hates when you make progress.
He does, because in that letter, you took control of the story. You said what needed to be said. You broke the loop. You called it what it was. And now Bob doesn't know what to do with himself, so he starts throwing guilt grenades.
So, let's talk about what's normal to feel after writing something that heavy.
Yeah, here's what I felt. A weird kind of grief. Like I had to let go of a version of the story I'd held on to for years. Shame. Not because I did something wrong, but because I finally let myself feel something I'd buried for decades. But also a flicker of relief, like I could breathe deeper than I had in years.
That's the paradox, isn't it? Grief and relief living in the same body. Pain and peace trying to sit in the same chair.
Exactly. And I want people to know that's okay. That's normal. That means you did something brave. You went into the fire and came out holding the truth.
What do you recommend people do next once they've written it?
Depends on how they feel. Some people burn the letter, symbolically letting go. Some keep it like a reminder of how far they've come. Some read it out loud to themselves in a mirror, and others, they share it with a therapist, a friend, or even with us.
And if they don't know what to do with it yet,
Then do nothing. Just honor it. You wrote it. That's enough for today.
you don't have to fix it all right now. Writing it down is a beginning, not an ending.
Exactly. The words are out now. You've taken the first step. And that first step might just save your life. You know what's funny, Michaela? Bob's having a full-blown meltdown right now.
Oh, I can hear him. They're writing, they're expressing their emotions, they're healing.
He's pacing back and forth in his imaginary office, sweating into his little anxiety-stained necktie, muttering, "This isn't how this is supposed to go."
Poor Bob. The guy's been thriving on chaos for decades. Shame spirals, unspoken grief, avoidance. That's his playground. But now, people are using pens like swords, and Bob's scared.
Damn right he is, because every time you write a letter to your past, to your pain, to your parents, to yourself, you're removing one of Bob's tools. He doesn't know what to do when the silence gets spoken.
And he's trying everything now to regain control. You're being dramatic. This won't change anything. You're still broken.
But guess what, Bob? You don't get to decide that anymore. You don't get to control the narrative. You're not the narrator. You're just background noise now.
I feel like we need t-shirts that say, "Dear Bob, shut up. I'm healing."
We'd sell out in minutes, mate. Honestly, the moment you can laugh at Bob, even just a little, is the moment you know you're starting to take your power back.
Because he thrives when you take him seriously. But when you laugh, when you say, "Okay, Bob, thanks for the input. Now go sit in the corner," that's when he starts shrinking.
He's like one of those inflatable tube men outside car dealerships, flailing around wildly trying to get your attention. But the more you write, the more air leaks out of him.
You're letting the air out of your own anxiety, one sentence at a time.
That's the magic. Writing isn't just healing, as it's rebellion. It's saying, yo, you don't get to control me anymore, Bob. I've got a voice now, and I'm using it. If you're still listening right now, I just want to say something real simple. You didn't need to write a single word to be brave today. Just being here, just sitting with the discomfort, the memories, the truth, that's huge. That's healing.
This whole episode was never about being a writer. It's about being real. And if all you managed today was feeling something, that's a win.
You know, there were years where I couldn't say a word about what I'd lived through. I couldn't speak it. I couldn't write it. I could barely think it without shutting down. So if you're there right now, I get it. And I want you to know this episode isn't a homework assignment. It's an invitation to try when you're ready.
You're allowed to take your time. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a scribble. And even just listening to this episode, that's a step. That's movement.
And if your hands are shaking, good. That means your body knows you're doing something real, something raw. You're walking into places you've avoided for a long time, and that's courage.
And I know some of you might feel flat after this. That emotional hangover, the sadness, the what now? It's okay. You don't have to do anything right now. Just breathe, drink some water, sit in the quiet, hug a pillow, lay on the floor if you need to.
Yeah, and if all you do tonight is not give up, that's more than enough. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are human, and you're doing the best bloody job you can, and we see that.
And so does your inner child, the one you maybe spoke to today for the first time in years. That little version of you, they're proud of you. You didn't abandon them. Not this time.
So maybe you'll write your letter tonight, maybe next week, maybe never. But if you heard yourself in this episode, that's the start. So maybe today wasn't about finishing a letter. Maybe it was just about starting one, or maybe it was about remembering that you still have a voice, even if you've been silent for years. Whatever it was, I just want to say I'm proud of you for listening, for staying, for not running when the feelings got big, for showing up.
Because showing up for yourself, especially when no one else has, that's one of the hardest things a person can do. But you did.
And if you're thinking of writing your letter later tonight or next week or when you finally feel brave enough, that's okay. Take your time. No pressure, no deadline. Just remember, when you write, you're not alone anymore.
You've got us. And you've got a whole community out there, people who've felt exactly what you're feeling. You are not the only one carrying this pain. You are not weird. You are not broken. You are not too much.
And if you're ever in crisis, if things feel too heavy, please don't stay silent. There are people trained to listen, to care, to help you through. Here are the numbers. Write them down, save them, share them. Crisis Support Services, Australia, Lifeline 30 11 11. Suicide Callback Service 1300659467. Beyond Blue 13022466. Men's Line Australia 1300789978. 13YARN for our First Nations brothers and sisters 139276.
Those numbers aren't just for emergencies. They're for when you need someone. No shame, no judgment, just help.
And I want to tell you about something that personally helped me when I was in one of my darkest places, a platform called This Way Up. It's an online mental health program designed by St Vincent's Hospital and the University of New South Wales. It's not just another app or feel-good website. It's evidence-based, built by real clinical professionals and made for people like us.
And the best part? You can do it privately, at your own pace, in your own space.
That's what I needed. No pressure, no spotlight, just tools that actually work. It helped me unpack anxiety, reframe thoughts, learn how to cope, not by ignoring it, but by understanding it. If today's episode opened something up inside you, go check it out. It's free for a lot of the programs, and you can start today. Visit thiswayup.org.au. If today's episode moved you, I'd love to hear about it. Your stories, your reflections, the words you couldn't say until now, you can write to me directly. I read everything, always. Email chatwithscottfind@gmail.com.
And Spotify fam, we've got a poll up. Have you ever written a letter you never sent? Yes. No. I'm going to now.
And before we go, remember this, you are not what happened to you. You are who you're becoming in spite of it. And if all you did today was survive, that's enough.
We love you. We see you. Keep going.
And Bob, mate, you can take the day off. We've got this.
Soul searching, fall apart, tunnel vision, hiding in the dark. Well, I ain't gonna holler before I really bleed. Salvation, a quick fix remedy. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said I never could change. Damn right I never would. Leave the light on. Leave the light on. Just leave the light on. Yeah, leave the light on. If I'll ever change, of Nashville, Tennessee, while the cold here in Sweden got the best of me. Well, haven't I got better things to think about than that? Like deadlines, rent's due, bills pile up, family day in, day out, the clock's mocking me, getting old, oh, got the kids deserve so much more than this, gotta get rich. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said I never could change. Damn right, never would.